Hey, good afternoon. Today is Friday, June the 28th, 2024. The time now is 1:10 p.m. So, the Kenyan president, William Ruto, basically made a statement yesterday during a televised statement to his country, to the nation, in which he basically conceded the bill, the whole idea, the attempt to pass a finance bill, which, if you look into it, it is basically going to do nothing or would have done nothing but stress the people to the core. So, yes, yesterday, William Ruto of Kenya, basically in a televised statement to his country, he conceded, and the bill is going to be repealed. It's going to be scrapped completely, and he is not going to sign the bill. Now, couple of things about his statement yesterday. One being that it was I think it was a show of strength to an extent. The fact that he made a statement to the public, to his country, and the entire world noticed it, the entire world saw it. He came out and saying, I concede. Okay? Basically, I was defeated. The government was defeated by the people. The people have spoken, which he stated boldly. The people have spoken. So it is interesting because in other countries, whether we are talking about in Africa and in many countries around the world, a government, a president wouldn't have said such a word, wouldn't have made such statement, I concede. I know in the United States, definitely Joe Biden wouldn't have done that. Donald Trump wouldn't have done that. Donald Trump probably would have called the people who are protesting terrorists and son of bitches. He probably would have done that. So for that, I basically applaud William Ruto for coming out and conceding. The people have spoken. It is the people's will that you are not going to bore holes in their pockets. Okay? They are already struggling. So for that, I applaud William Ruto. That is a very bold move for a government, for a president, especially in Africa, in a global south country, especially after he had tough talk prior to Tuesday's protest, where as of now it is said that about 23 people have died. Okay, I read a source in which one lady was crying because one of her son had died during the protest, and he basically was a college student or so. Now in Kenya, what you see and what we have been seeing over the past 7 days or so, basically is young people protesting, telling the government and William Ruto, no is no. We are not going to take it. And that is something that I believe most of Africa or all of Africa should welcome. Because what Kenya and the Kenyan people has demonstrated to Africa and to a greater extent to the rest of the world is that the people do have the power, okay? The people have the power to make changes in their country. And in this case, the change is being propagated or being fought for. The change is being pushed by young people that are saying enough is enough. Look, we have seen time after time again where young people are asleep. Young people are not standing up for their rights. They may complain about not having jobs, not having this and not having that. But then when it comes to going out and fighting for it, they go to sleep. But what Kenya demonstrates is that young people are not sleeping and they are not going to sleep. They are going to fight for their right. But in terms of the bill itself, which is now being scrapped, and it is only sad that William Ruto is conceding and trying to galvanize public support and bring his countries back together. Something he could have done 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, or so. Now, the people of Kenya, they've spoken. Okay? Yes, William Ruto stated that the people of Kenya have spoken. They spoke last year. Last year, the people of Kenya spoke. But William Ruto and his government did not listen. And they continue to push the boundary, see how much they can do. And the people finally snapped. Okay? The people finally snapped. Prior to the craziness of it, the death toll, and all the destruction that we've seen, he was even tough talking and calling his compatriots, the Kenyan people, terrorists, or that their activities, basically declaring what they are doing, their protesting activities, to be that of treason. It was bad. That was bad move. Okay? The people have the right to protest, especially to protest a bill that will impact them severely. Now, the bill, the finance bill, it would have basically imposed a 16% tax, okay, increase on bread. It would have imposed fees or taxes on cooking oil, vegetable oil, okay, on property, on cars. It would have imposed fees or tax on financial transactions, electronic transactions. That means, as I've said in my previous video or programs or talk, however you want to say it, if I am a Kenyan around the world or even in Kenya, and I want to make any financial transaction to families and friends, that means I would be paying extra fees or tax on my transaction. The people of Kenya and Africa right now are in a position where they need every dollar. William Ruto and his government and all African governments need to find a better way, a better solutions to deal with the problems that the countries face. Basically, come up with a better solution to pay your debt or to finance public works or whatever infrastructure that you are building. Once again, the bill, okay, would have even put tax, raise tax, or impose higher fees on hygiene products. Now, for women, hygiene products are basically important for women. Now, for black women, hygiene products are super important because our physical appearance as Africans, as black, our body, okay, it is unique. We are a unique people as Africans, as black people. So hygiene products, having access to hygiene products is a very much important thing for us Africans, especially for our African women, daughters, mothers, sisters, aunties, and so on. So Africans, okay, Africans are distinct people in terms of their physical appearance and everything, okay, in terms of their biology. Now, let's talk, for example, a woman's hair. An African woman's hair is not a hair that you could just wash and go. And African women spend a lot of money taking care of their hair and whatsoever. So just imagine going through the cycle of taking care of yourself, and then you have to spend a whole lot of money because of imposed taxes and fees. Whether we are talking about hair, whether we are talking about the nails, whether we are talking about the earrings, whether we are talking about the clothes and so on, it's a lot for people in Africa, okay, in terms of the finance. Many of the people in Africa do not have people who are working, okay? Many people in Africa, whether we are talking about Kenya or its neighbors or the far places in Africa, farther from Kenya, many young people do not have jobs, okay? Do not have the opportunity. Many have to spend so much money just to go to college, okay? Or just to finish their high schooling. So just imagine the amount of effort, the amount of money that they have to spend. Now, in terms of the finance bill, that the Kenyan parliament, okay, passed that William Ruto was supposed to be signing, that he finally scrapped, and he is saying that he is not going to sign. One of the provision of the bill is that it was supposed to impose tax on hygiene products. Let's talk about female hygiene products like pads or whatever. It's expensive, okay? A lot of women during that special time of the month will go through many of those pads daily. If we are to bring that situation to Africa, where many people do not have financial opportunity or employment opportunity, let alone now they have to spend extra amount of fees and tax as a result of acquiring, okay, or to acquire their hygiene products. So this was a stupid decision the Kenyan government made, and the fact that William Ruto waited until destruction had occurred. William Ruto waited until about 23 people have died to concede, to basically repeal or squash the bill. As much as him coming out and saying that he conceded was a good move, it is too late, or at least it seems to me to be too late. Even if you have to tax your people and raise fees, okay, to pay the country's, I think, $2.7 billion debt. What the Kenyan government or William Ruto was doing, they went too far. You tax cooking oil and hygiene products all at the same time. That was stupid. If you have to tax the cars, not everybody have cars in Africa. Most people don't have cars, okay, in Africa. Most people are walking to their places, okay, to and from places. Yes, those who have cars, they are going to get angry. But one thing I know, everybody must eat and everybody must have hygiene products. Kenya is a country of at least 50 million people. In most cases around the world, it is said that women makes up at least 55 to 60% of the populations throughout the world. Or women makes up the majority of the populations in about every country. Now, if you have about 50 million people in Kenya, let's say between 26 to maybe 28 million are women. And of that number, let's say at least 10 million are within the age range where they go through that special time of the month. 10 million women have to buy their hygiene products. When you are placing taxes and fees on those products, you have to be careful how you're doing it and the level, the amount of tax and fees that you are placing on such product. Because 10 million women out of your 26 to 28 million women, out of your 50 million citizenry, okay, that's a huge number. Because those 10 million women, they do have about 15 to 18 million of them who are their moms, their sisters, their daughters, okay, who are going to be impacted as a result of them having to raise extra funds for their hygiene products. So this is something that William Ruto and the Kenyan government brought upon themselves. But I hope the situation in Kenya basically come to settle. It is said that there was supposed to be a million people's march throughout Kenya, and I hope that is a peaceful march as well. But I'm going to end here. But I want to first read a description for this program, which is a very short description, which can serve as both a conclusion a summary or also questions. It does have questions and comment. And I'm going to read. The Great Concession. The Kenyan president conceded and scrapped the controversial finance bill altogether. Kenya's William Ruto has conceded, but is it an honest concession? Is it too late? Questions or comment? The people have spoken, Ruto said. Well, Ruto, the people had already spoken. The people spoke last year, but you did not listen. Look, this is the reason why the echoing voice, okay? I do support the protest in Kenya. I support the protest in Kenya, okay? Because last year, the people of Kenya barked, the people of Kenya growled, but the people of Kenya did not bite. So the government did not listen. The government did whatever it wanted. Now, the people of Kenya are finally biting. The government is in big trouble. The government is shaking, and the government must shake. William Ruto and the government did whatever they wanted to do last year, and they did it against the people's will because the people did not bite. So that's it. Now we are seeing the consequences of not listening to your people or of not caring for the people. Now, I do feel like William Ruto's statement yesterday was an honest statement. His concession, I do believe it was an honest concession, that he realized what basically he and the government placed the people of Kenya, the situation that they placed the people of Kenya in. And I do believe, however, that his concession was honest. However, is it too late? I think it is too late in that 23 people have died. The parliament building was set on fire, and properties throughout Nairobi and around the country was destroyed. It is too late. But I hope William Ruto can emerge strong, honestly, and rebuild the country and rebuild the trust of the Kenyan people. I'm going to end there. Thank you very much for watching The Echoing Voice. But please, tell me what you think. Peace.